The government acknowledges shortcomings in the water procurement scam, while the logistics firm for the water company claimed it was owed nearly $700,000. Consumer watchdog urges strengthening telehealth regulations, citing vague legal responsibilities and privacy risks. And after meeting with Ukrainian president and European leaders, U.S. President Donald Trump says he's arranging a peace summit between Moscow and Kyiv. Good evening, you're watching Cable News. I'm Quentin Yang. Commenting on the bottled water supplier saga, Secretary for Financial Services and the Treasury Christopher Hui acknowledged shortcomings, but said the administration has taken quick and proactive actions. Meanwhile, the logistics firms transporting the water claimed Xindingxin Trade has an unpaid bill of nearly $700,000. Evelyn Bai reports.
Since the $52.9 million contract with bottled water supplier Xindingxin Trade was partially terminated, a warehouse in Ngaotanmei, Yunlong, believed to be storing the company's water, got over 1,000 empty water barrels, with some labeled with the firm's name. The warehouse is reported to be a collaborative logistics firm's local transit depot for a water plant in Jiangmutou Town in Dongguan City, before sending the water to government offices. This man in charge at YTAD Logistics said, when the incident came to light, they were short but had no choice. The company invested in vehicles and hired additional staff, putting in around $800,000, and they also have nearly $700,000 in receivables that haven't been paid. Because the Xindingxin Trade did present a 3-year government contract, from our perspective, it was absolutely trustworthy, he added. The government logistics department earlier emphasized that the company's tender document met the technical specification review and offered the lowest price in its category. Addressing the issue, Hui acknowledged the shortcomings and reiterated that price is neither the sole nor primary criterion. Their evaluation holistically considers technical requirements and other factors before cost. He stressed that the administration has taken quick and proactive actions in dealing with suspected fraud. When asked about accountability, Hui revealed that an interdepartmental task force is conducting a full process review, with follow-up meetings scheduled this week. Evelyn Bai, Cable News.
The director of Xindingxin Trade, the supplier at the center of the government water procurement scandal, appeared in court today. 61-year-old Liu Qichong, director of Xindingxin Trade Company, faced 1 count of fraud at Eastern Magistrates Court and was remanded in custody. His 57-year-old wife and business partner was released on bail. The case was adjourned until November 11th for further investigation, including forensic computer analysis and verification of the water's true source. Lui allegedly secured a government contract by falsely claiming his company supplied mainland robust Guangdong drinking water. During March's bidding process, he was believed to have submitted fabricated documents, including altered water quality reports, to convince the government logistics department that Xindingxin was an authorized robust supplier. Robust later confirmed it had no business relationship with Xindingxin and never authorized production of its branded water. The Consumer Council has received 7 complaints over private telehealth services in the past 5 years. The watchdog is calling for stronger government oversight, citing vague legal responsibilities and privacy risks uncovered in its latest study. Jamie Liu tells us more.
Since the COVID-19 pandemic, telemedicine has made seeing a doctor just 1 click away. Diagnosis can now be made over video calls, and medications can be delivered at your door. Despite the convenience, there may be hidden risks. In a survey conducted last year, the Consumer Council interviewed 840 consumers and around 830 medical practitioners. The biggest concern about telehealth was the lack of physical examinations, with 77% of doctors agreeing. Over 40% also worried about medical incidents or misdiagnosis.
A review of 19 telehealth service providers found 4 disclaim diagnostic responsibility despite issuing medical certificates and prescriptions. 1 online platform advertised text-based medical consultations. The Department of Health referred the case to the Medical Council of Hong Kong to investigate for possible breach of professional conduct.
The study also flagged concerns on patient information and privacy. Only 4 out of 10 remote healthcare providers using third-party platforms such as WhatsApp and Zoom believed their platforms were privacy certified. 3 firms said they do not check identity information when patients collect home-delivered medications, which the council cautioned might lead to wrong delivery. The Consumer Council urged regulators to formally oversee telehealth by setting service standards, clarifying legal and insurance responsibilities, and setting up a whitelist of certified platforms approved by the hospital authority. Jamie Liu, Cable News.
The Education Bureau vows to crack down on shell institutions and set up legitimate private school lists to enhance transparency. Evelyn Bai reports.
Taking to the airwaves, Acting Secretary for Education Jeff See said they have formed a task force that will conduct 2 rounds of surprise inspections in the next 2 months, targeting private schools previously subject to complaints about operating shell schools that work with third-party agencies to help students from outside city become eligible for subsidized university places. The shell school controversy came to light last month after a private Hong Kong school, Inno Secondary School, came under scrutiny after a pupil was suspected of holding dual student registrations in both Hong Kong and the mainland. Meanwhile, Xi said the Bureau plans to introduce a code of practice for private schools in the new academic year. This will enhance transparency by listing compliant institutions in a public directory, helping local and newly arrived families make informed choices. The Education Bureau maintains strict standards for private schools, Xi emphasized, clarifying that only institutions passing inspections without violations will be included in the official compliance list. Xi cautioned parents against trusting unverified information from education agents or social media platforms. These sources may provide inaccurate details about schools, he added. Evelyn Bai, Cable News.
Hopes of a breakthrough in the Russia-Ukraine war rose after U.S. President Donald Trump met his Ukrainian counterpart Volodymyr Zelensky and European leaders, during which Trump pushed for a peace summit between Zelensky and Russian President Vladimir Putin with a phone call to Kremlin. The pair could meet in Hungary within the next 2 weeks. Anna Chen has more details.
Unlike the shockingly ill-tempered previous encounter in February, U.S. and Ukrainian leaders seemed determined not to look confrontational this time. Wearing a collared suit, Zelensky repeatedly said thank you during the opening remarks, while Trump expressed hope of ending the years-long conflict.
Well, look, the war is going to end. When it ends, I can't tell you, but the war is going to end, and this gentleman wants it to end, and Vladimir Putin wants it to end. I think the whole world is tired of it.
Zelensky also signaled openness to three-way meeting with Trump and Putin.
We supported the idea of the United States, personally of President Trump, to stop this war, to make a diplomatic way of finishing this war. And we are ready for trilateral, as President said. This is a good signal about trilateral. I think this is very good. Thank you.
Following the Oval Office talks, they were joined by 7 European leaders to further discuss security guarantees. Present at the hastily arranged talks were the leaders of Britain, France, Germany, Italy, Finland, the European Commission and NATO. At one point, Trump paused the closed-door meeting to phone Putin, but without the Europeans' presence. A Kremlin aide said the call had been very constructive and that Putin had expressed support for direct negotiations between Kyiv and Moscow. Trump later revealed that he had started arranging a summit between Putin and Zelensky and a possible trilateral meeting with him. Meeting the press separately, Zelensky hailed Trump's promise of providing security as a major step forward, adding that the guarantees would be formalized on paper within the next week to 10 days, and Ukraine offered to buy about $90 billion worth of American weapons. Anna Chen, Cable News.
Palestinian militant group Hamas has accepted a 60-day ceasefire proposal with Israel, agreeing to release half the Israeli hostages in Gaza in exchange for Palestinian prisoners. Hamas confirmed that it accepted a new Gaza ceasefire proposal presented by mediators from Qatar and Egypt on Sunday, an unaltered truce framework mirroring a U.S.-backed plan Israel endorsed in June. Under the deal's first phase, Hamas would free 10 living hostages and 18 bodies, while Israel releases 140 Palestinian prisoners serving life terms, 60 long-term detainees, and all women and minors held. The agreement mandates urgent humanitarian aid to Gaza, partial Israeli troop withdrawals, and establishes a pathway to a permanent ceasefire. Israel has not formally responded, though officials acknowledged receiving Hamas's terms. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu noted Hamas was under immense pressure, but reiterated demands for all hostages release and Hamas's disarmament. A key hurdle remains. Hamas insists on written U.S. guarantees, preventing Israel from resuming war after 60 days. However, U.S. President Donald Trump urged Israel to escalate attacks, declaring hostages would only return once Hamas is confronted and destroyed. Hong Kong's latest jobless rate rose to 3.7%, higher than expected. The city's seasonally adjusted unemployment rate increased from 3.5% in April to June to 3.7% in May to July, according to the Census and Statistics Department. The number of unemployed individuals increased by approximately 8,800, reaching 145,000, while the underemployment rate remained at 1.4%. During this period, unemployment rates rose significantly in the food and beverage, retail, and real estate sectors. Secretary for Labor and Welfare Chris Sun noted that the increase in unemployment was partly due to fresh graduates and school leavers entering the labor market. While unemployment rates across industries continue to depend on their respective business conditions, the government expected that its measures to stimulate economic growth, boost consumer confidence, and attract investment will support the overall labor demand. Now let's take a look at the stock market. The Hang Seng Index closed 53 points lower. Top active stocks of the day, Tencent was up $5.50. East Buy was down $9.06. Xiaomi was down 65 cents and Meituan was down 70 cents. On to the weather now, mainly cloudy with a few showers. More showers with thunderstorms in some areas at first. Sunny intervals during the day. And that's your news tonight. I'm Quentin Yang. Thank you for watching. Good night.